What I have in front of me are three bows, the three amigos. I have, as you've seen before, the channels cut in to those and got some refinement still to do on the handle. And you know, I've been going back and forth as far as just doing my standard string grooves on here, or else kind of rounding it off and using this beautiful black buffalo horn as an overlay on the back as a string stopper. I think I'm going to go with the buffalo horn overlay. That will be quite cool as a contrast, because this is not going to be rawhide backed. It's going to be just a bare wood bow, which is fine. 45 pounds at 28 inches, good grain, nice wood. It'll be fine. It'll be good. And I really do think the buffalo horn, and then like just a center nice wrap of sinew on there, très chic. So I need to go to the hardware store and get my finer grades of sandpaper, but this is what I'm going to do. Because this is going to be set for 45 pounds at 28 inches, so probably 47, you know, really, to give it some grace as far as a break, and you know, it'll reduce a little bit after quite a bit of use, so boost it up a little bit above 45 pounds. But I will get it down, my goal, because I have found this in one of my many stash spots for measuring the draw weight. I'm going to work it down to about 52 pounds, there and abouts, with my 80 grit, and then finishing sanding should bring it down to where I want to do. You know, start high. It's hard to put weight on bows, draw weight on, unless you reduce the tip length, which is an effective way of boosting your draw weight. But got the nice rounded back, as you know, and my goal is then to it's kind of zeroing in, because if I go at this too early, I'm going to go beyond the target draw weight. I like to have almost like barely any width on the edges. Now you might say, if it's super skinny here, you're eliminating the compressional value of this wood. You know, if you have a thin piece, it's not going to be doing anything. But you have to think in terms of the neutral plane. Split this bow like this down the middle, where it's not doing anything. It's neither pushing nor pulling, but that thin edge is below that. So even though it's very thin on the edge, it's still performing a service under compression, because it's a three-dimensional thing here, you know. The upper crown doing the lion's share of tensional work, and then that thin little edge down there. You could, and I'm going to increase this to its ridiculous extreme. Suppose you had a cross section of a triangle, knife edges on the bottom, neutral plane about here, this sharp spine on the top doing most of the tensional work. Not a good design, really. Maybe in sinew backing. But the bottom edge, that knife edge, go in it a little bit, because it's not just that surface layer. The surface layer is getting squished, but then it goes up a little bit. A lot of that knife edge bottom is still going to be doing some compression. Moving right along. This has changed the course of my scheduling. A nice paintbrush. For Christmas, my wife was given a gift certificate to Hobby Lobby, so she went in there to get some frames and stuff like that. She's got some really nice prints. They're prints she wants to frame. And I'm wandering around. I'm looking at sea monkeys and model trains. Another one of my interests. That's actually a live steam mammoth. But I found myself in the paintbrush aisle. And I'm taking the bristles, because I like a little bit of stiffness on my paintbrushes for my line work on my bows. I thought, wow, this stiff synthetic brush needs to be put to work. I like it. Don't cheap out on brushes, and plus at Hobby Lobby it was 50% off. So I bought this brush, and I'm thinking, what am I going to paint with my nice new brush? It's like, I haven't had any attention, really, on this halo bow that I was going to offer just as like a U finish thing. Really nice wood. As it stands now, basically a tillered bow at between 45 and 50 pounds. You know what? I'm going to finish this myself, and I'm going to rawhide back it, and I'm going to use my paintbrush for a design. Want to paint it. And getting back to that, nice round, owing to my sanding block, but then I'm going to continue it down, and so when it's all finished, being conscious that I want the edges to be similar on all 4 quadrants. I'm not going to arrive at that finished thing until it's tillered and all even, so I don't wind up getting that knife edge here and a little thicker here. Get my drift. But after I shovel snow, see, I'm preparing snow today. Now I like to keep my trail shovel, 1.25 miles of trails shoveled, along with paths for this and that and other things, the pole barn, nature center, shovel the driveway. After I shovel, physical labor is good. It's good for the soul. I'm going to work on this, and I am. See how it's blocky? It's kind of a square right there. I'm going to take my Scribe-O-Matic, and I'm going to go along this edge. Even though it drops off here, you can see how it gets thicker. I like that. Draw my line, dead center, down about 8 inches. And I'm going to do that triangle grading into the round surface, and that's the trick, because you use shadows. Shadows are your friend. Grading that spine gets gentle, 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 and then transitioning into that curve. It's not natural, but it can be done. And the edge from beginning to end, minus where the pin knock is, will be even. It's a very nice technique. And with bows, you know, it's all the subtleties that add up to the whole. Sometimes less is more. Even though the creed of us guys is, if a little is good, a lot is better. We have to throttle ourselves back. Then it's on to this one. Oh, it's the 61.5-inch one. Heck, I'm just going to go ahead and I want to rawhide this puppy. And so I'm using this style of tips. I think these are very attractive. I might take these, see the grooves, and then this edge right here, I might round that a little bit. You know, it's outboard of the bow limb, so it doesn't matter. This is all just looks. Occasionally I've made little faces on these things. Why not? I've seen them on museum bows. But yeah, this is going to be a nice little bow. I don't think I'm going to gull wing it. I'm not going to put that triple bend in it. I might. And with red oak, on tips, a lot of times I boil the tips to recurve them instead of steaming them. Either or, but on the tips with red oak, different bow woods respond to different heating methods better than others as far as that goes. And red oak likes to be boiled. Just a faint, subtle tip up there. But we shall see. It's a fun thing about bows. Rawhide back it, and I might do so you can see that round pattern, round with a little gap, then another semicircle, little gap, little semicircle, little gap, and in the open spots, dot, 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 dot. Very beautiful pattern. It kind of goes along with each detail you do might seem a little odd, might seem a little eccentric, but when you get the whole thing done, the parts are just a part of the whole. That those weird little things that you do along the way total a very, very attractive package. You know, and that's where visualization comes in, especially on something like this. I'm looking at the handle, and you can see I haven't completely refined it yet. I'll do that with the finer grits. I'll rough it in with the 80 to make sure that there's a nice grade right here. And what I'm going for is even along the top, and then grading into these cool heels and I may be emphasizing more around here, digging in. I might decide to like kick these up and have a sharper edge. I don't know. Key is to work slowly. It's harder to put wood back on than it is to take it off. Well, that is it. That's all. Time to break out my shovel and have fun in the snow. I'm there.